Hello and welcome to Maths with Jacob. This lesson will focus on multiplying and dividing surds. Multiplying and dividing surds is a very straightforward procedure. The following examples will show how this process works. If we have the square root of a multiplied by the square root of b, that's equal to the square root of ab. You just multiply ab together and you put it under the square root sign. The square root of a all squared is a. The square root of a over the square root of b is the square root of a over b. We now look at some specific examples. The square root of 3 times the square root of 5 is the square root of 3 times 5, which is the square root of 15. 2 the square root of 3 times 4 the square root of 7. Excuse me, you multiply the numbers outside of the square root signs together. 2 4s are 8 and 3 7s are 21. So you multiply the numbers under the square root signs together also, as we saw here. So it's 8 the square root of 21. When we have 3 terms multiplied together, you multiply the numbers outside of the square root sign together. That gives you 24. 2 times 4 times 3 is 24. And 3 times 2 times 5 is 30. So it's 24 the square root of 30. When you have the square root of 3 all squared, that means you multiply the square root of 3 by itself. That gives you 3. 2 the square root of 5 all squared, you multiply 2 the square root of 5 by itself. 2 2s are 4. The square root of 5 by the square root of 5 gives you 5. 4 5s are 20. With respect to division, the square root of 14 over the square root of 7 is the square root of 14 over 7, which is the square root of 2, because 7 into 14 goes 2. When you have numbers outside of the square root sign, you can divide those together. So 8 divided by 2 gives you 4, and 15 divided by 3 gives you 5, so that gives you 4 the square root of 5. So that's 4 the square root of 5. So this video has introduced us to the idea of multiplying and dividing surds, and we've seen some very basic examples which show us how to do each of these processes.